Welcome, episode 2 with Rich and Marty here. We just wanted to say hello and we appreciate you checking us out. Um, we're going to kind of slide straight into it today. We're going to review a few things, go back and answer some things that we had kind of with the previous episode. Marty, what's going on with the with ESO?
No, the executive order.
The executive
Remember,
order.
we at that last we were talking about the executive order, and if it was going to be
Yeah.
re-signed again for
Re-signed.
another year. So it's September 9th. I guess the actual deadline was the 12th. So on the 9th they signed it.
Yep.
So
What's that?
it's a notice and still the continuation of national emergency under that. So I don't know. Interesting. Interesting. And then going from that, right before that, we had the hit. We talked about the World Fair. Some of the we talked about the Chicago World Fair, and I had some. I think you first of all had some questions about. Well, is there other stuff?
Yeah. I kind of liked that segment. I think a lot of people do. So
I had a lot of people comment and say, "Do you know what? Can you show something else that kind of makes you go, what makes you go, let me think about this, or let me think about that."
Well, it's things I'm not really aware of myself. Some of these things. I mean, um,
Well, this
I didn't really realize the time period between electricity and when the fair actually occurred. Man, I never really thought about that. So
yeah.
it
How
kind of
are
all
they?
blasted my whole theory out of the water.
How are they moving that
So
electricity? That was the difference before was they hadn't they had some places had small pockets of electricity, but they didn't know how to move it.
yeah,
And the
yeah.
closest thing was from Niagara, where they were making it, was getting it to Buffalo. How did they get all that electricity there? Because there was no lines and stuff back then.
Well, you have something else for us. So why don't
Well,
you tell
yeah.
everybody here
Well,
what you got for us here?
we were. I had never heard of this. I was born in Florida. A lot of my family were raised in Florida and stuff like that. I still have family there, so friends there. Um, but somebody asked me about Fort Jefferson, and I said, "What? I never heard of that."
Yeah,
And
I've
so
never
I
heard of it
found a
either.
TikTok. So I just clicked on TikTok. Of course, I want to see what's out there. Either
Yeah.
side or whatever. I think Ryan's pulling up the TikTok or whatever
Fort
now, but it's weird. It's weird. You just
Yeah,
take a
you showed me a
listen.
picture of this,
Take a
man.
listen to this, and again, it's kind of like the World Fair. Check it out. I guess
All right.
maybe.
He's working over there. He's working. He's
Jefferson.
computer tech.
They built this in 1846. 16
Right,
million
pause that.
bricks. Okay, so here's the craziest thing about this.
So 1846. So we're now what 20 years before the Civil War.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
With no
That's
fresh
cute.
water?
Wow.
And no fresh water. So yeah, the guy said you're gonna have to ship all 16 million bricks out there, but you would have to have like probably 2 or 3 boats shuttling back and forth all day long, bringing fresh water.
Yeah, and those waters weren't easy to get through, especially during hurricane season.
Yeah.
How long can you ship I mean, how many times you get shipped over and then you have to stop for a while because the water's just too heavy.
So I've been reading about this. So that we'll do a follow up later on after I find some more information about it. But somebody wanted to
That's
know.
some nasty water around the front of it there when they first showed that first shot, man. It was some nasty, great brown water.
1864
And then they show this beautiful water out in front of it.
1846.
Yeah. No, that's.
I mean, 1846. We're all living in wooden shacks on the dusty plain with our rifle and our
It has it has an old architectural vibe to it. I'm trying to think, man. I'm gonna go back. I'll have to go back and do some research. You guys, if you guys can tell us if you have any ideas, man, what kind of architecture and structure that may be.
Well, so then when we were, I saw that. So then I pulled up this AI. Have you tried any of this AI stuff yet?
Yes. I've
I
done
think
it for
Ryan has
for
a couple of
text
things
thing.
he's going to pop up there, but I asked AI about, since we had like the fair, now we have this fort, stuff like that. It's something's not making right on the timeline and stuff like that. I asked I think I sent him the question, but he doesn't. I don't think he needs to pull it up or whatever. But it's basic. The question was basically if history is written by the victors, which is basically what we're talking. And I've hit my mic like twice today because I've got it in a new spot because my senior executive producer wants it there and I don't like it there. So, I think I sent him the whole entire question. I don't know if he's going to put it up or not, but I think I worded it. If history was written by the victors, how much of a history could possibly be untrue or truth, depending on what eye you see it from? So that's basically what it came up. It says if history is written by the victors, then the amount of truth in a historical narrative can be significantly skewed, meaning a large portion of the story may be considered fiction. And it goes on, on and on and on. So then I asked it to debunk it, and then it basically comes up, kind of with the same answer, kind of in reverse, but. The phrase history is written by the victors is often considered a myth as it oversimplifies the complex process of historical recordings, ignoring the fact that multiple perspectives, including those of the losers, can often be documented and analyzed by historians. Well, isn't that how it's supposed to be, correct?
Yes. I
mean,
but
then read the rest of it. Even if it may not be widely known or readily accessible, that's the part of what the whole sentence doesn't make sense. Read that part again. Even if they may not be widely known or readily accessible.
Yeah.
So does that mean only certain people have the information?
No, I mean, to me, I mean, yeah, history may be written by the victors, but there is always a loser side to it too, man. That either contradicts or supports, one side,
Well,
or the other.
I think there.
So
I think there is.
maybe that's what it's referring to.
But I think, well, the whole aspect of history, how accurate is history that we've been taught, that we teach, that on and on and on. If it's coming from the victor of most battles or something, or changed the narrative around the world in one way or another, but it's always after a conflict. The winner, using Afghanistan, Iraq, any of these stupid wars, Vietnam, Korea, did we get all the exact true information?
No, and I don't think I mean, they don't want you to know the exact truth,
Well,
and a lot of times,
if we won those
Vietnam
wars,
War,
or supposedly we won those wars, then 40 years from now we're teaching people that we went in there and did this for a certain reason.
Yes. Now,
proven or unproven.
Government doesn't always tell us the truth on why they're going in to do something. I mean, look at Bush in Iraq. I mean, we were going in there for weapons of mass destruction, and and really it was for oil and everything else to protect our own interest. So yeah, no, it's not always. I mean, they're not going to tell you always what the truth is, because you're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, no. The problem is why aren't they teaching it?
Well,
I mean, there's a couple I follow.
I don't know. It's a good question. It's a good question.
How do you teach something that has no history?
Well, I think the history is there. I just don't think we're taught it.
As far as we know.
Correct and incorrect.
No, that's only correct because as far as we know, that is the only history that's around. A lot of the time, the winners will burn down, other people's cultures and history and everything else.
Correct.
It's the same thing.
Correct.
So
but is that?
I mean, I'm not saying that it couldn't be hidden behind something or whatever by some government, but
Well, I'm not even talking
it's
about
hard.
that.
It's hard to teach the loser's side of the view when it's gone.
I'm talking about. You can look at the American Indians' perspective of what has happened over the centuries.
Well, yeah, we still have Indian Americans alive.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But over the years, that has changed from how we treated them and where we were back early days.
Yeah.
That's changed over the years. The perspective.
Well, we have a tendency to try to sugarcoat things, and that's
Sometimes.
I mean that's
Sometimes.
what we do with a lot of our history. That's what we do with a lot of our daily lives. Even we sugarcoat.
Well, that's what I mean.
things.
We sugarcoat it so that how much of it is
It's-
sugarcoated after you've gone 300 years. How much of it's sugarcoated?
Yeah, I mean it's hard to figure out what's true and what's not when they keep telling you one thing and you keep discovering another.
I follow this another couple on TikTok. I follow a bunch of people on TikTok, but they're asking questions, so that's why I followed them, because they're doing the research and they're figuring things out, and that's what I love when people are doing that. So well, I follow them. I want Ryan could bring up one, but just listen to this.
In fact, every black representative in the House until 1935 was a Republican, and every black senator until 1979 was too. For that matter, the first female member of Congress was a Republican. The first Hispanic governor and senator were Republicans. The first Asian senator, you get the idea. Republicans also kept their pledge to defend women's rights. In 1862, the Morrill Anti-Bigamy Act was passed by the Republican-controlled Congress to put an end to polygamy. In 1920, after 52 years of Democratic Party opposition, the 19th Amendment was ratified thanks to the Republican Congress, which pressured Democratic President Woodrow Wilson to drop his opposition to women's rights. In the final tally, only 59% of House Democrats and 41% of Senate Democrats supported women's suffrage. That's compared to 91% of House Republicans and 82% of Senate Republicans. There certainly was a war on women, and it was led by the Democratic Party.
It's still a war on women. They want biological men in women's sports today.
Doesn't make sense.
No, but there's another one. There's another one. Yeah, there's another one. I want you to hear this, because they do a real good job, because they actually go in and get a lot of information. Ryan has another one that I saw this week or whatever, that I was like, I always send him a message or whatever a message.
Well, I mean, this right here, what we're using in this media here, I mean, is what we're using.
Wait, hang on, check this one out. This one's interesting.
War. The commander-in-chief during that war was the first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, the man who freed the slaves.
One makes me think.
Wait a minute. Okay, I knew Abraham Lincoln was Republican. I didn't know he was the first Republican president.
Was he?
How do we not know that?
6 days after the Confederate Army surrendered, John Wilkes Booth, a Democrat, assassinated President Lincoln. Lincoln's vice president, a Democrat named Andrew Johnson, assumed the presidency.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Johnson adamantly opposed Lincoln's plan to integrate the newly freed slaves.
His vice president was a Democrat?
See, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, nah.
He's a
I
Republican?
just found that out recently.
Huh?
I didn't even know that could be a thing.
I ain't either. I guess I need to do more research, because...
You and me both.
That's right there is what I love about them. He says, I need to do some more
Listen,
research.
we're new into this politics thing. I mean, not to excuse our ignorance, but
they're not
we're
ignorant
learning.
at all. They're not ignorant at all.
No.
They're free thinkers.
No.
They're free thinkers, and that's what I love about
There
them.
needs to be more people on the world like that. Otherwise, I mean,
Truthfully, I think that's how all politics should be.
yeah.
When presidents voted, they should have a person of the opposition as their VP. I think it would.
I'm not against it.
I think it would
Not
bring the
against
parties
it.
together a little bit more and allow them to work together a little bit more.
I'm not against it. I don't think you'll ever get it.
I don't think you
Get
will either.
that.
But that's what I'm saying is I think it brings both sides to the table at all times. You know, you have a Republican president with a Democrat VP, you know, being able to say, you know, their side of everything and stuff like that.
Well, really, if we go back to what we should be or where we should be with a constitutional republic, the people, the White House and all that stuff, in Congress and all that's very small. It gets rid of so much of it because it's constitutional law. Where if constitutional law, you go back to the Constitution, it's all state run. It should be states.
Yeah, that's right. Sovereignty.
States' job to say yes or no to abortion. States' job to say yes or no to gun rights. States' right to say yes or no to, you know, on and on and on. The marijuana, whatever. It's the state. The states have
the people within that state vote for how they want that state run.
It's never supposed to be the
That's
federal
exactly
government
correct.
telling us what the law is. It's each state is supposed to be run as a state.
We've slowly gone further and further away and closer to socialism and nationalism. It's gotten scary, and that's why we have the divide we have now. I believe. Maybe I'm wrong, but there are. I mean, since I started even looking at politics, which wasn't probably late in my 20s or 30s, even till I bothered, you know, I never really voted for the Republican or the Democrat. I voted for the guy I thought could do the best job. You know, and that's the way I've always been, whether he's a Democrat or Republican. Now over the last 20 years, we've gotten further and further divide. You're either a Republican or you're a Democrat, you know, or you're an outsider, an independent.
It's the only thing they preach.
I'm an independent and outsider, so
it's the only thing they preach on the, you know, on the TV box or anything else, movies everywhere. It's separation. They want the whites fighting the blacks. They want the atheists fighting the Christians. They want the Muslims fighting the Jews. It's always about keeping us
occupied.
No, it's not even keeping us occupied. It's keeping us mad at somebody.
No, it's keeping you occupied. You keep you occupied, and you're over here paying attention to this while they're over there doing that.
Yeah, that's
what this television's about.
Yeah, that's
to be quite honest. I mean,
most of the time it's look over here, so you don't look over here.
Yeah, and I mean, we had to use the television the other night when we had to watch this crazy debate. I mean, that was something else, man. I've listened to all kinds of people's opinions over the last several days. So,
what'd you hear? What's been the word on the street?
Well, the word on the street is kind of back and forth. I get it from both sides. I got friends that just thought it was ridiculous all the way through, and then I have some friends that thought that there were good questions asked, but they didn't answer really the questions. Sometimes they were kind of more gouging at each other. And then, you know, my personal opinion was I was a bit let down. I thought the questions could have been better. I didn't think they asked really. They asked some good questions, but I thought there were some other issues and bigger things I think they could have asked about. And it kind of led them, I thought, into arguments with each other. It was kind of almost like leading the bear to the honey. So
it's I don't know. I laughed most of the way through it. I mean, it was I don't know. It was just weird. We weren't hearing, you know. It was just all these rules stuff. I mean, fact checking. You know, we've already gone through all that. You know, people don't believe the animals and all that. You know, and all the other stuff that he said or whatever. And we've gone back and forth. We've seen basically everything that he said was actually correct.
Yeah,
and you go back to there, and they didn't fact check her one single time, and now we're seeing from, well, you can play your favorite video now. Yes.
Hey, Ryan.
Does Ryan have that? Do you have
the military the TikTok one with the military one? I saw they were all watching Kamala Harris.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Do you have that?
Let me see.
I thought I sent it.
Did you send it?
I thought I did.
It's all right. I'll see if I'll go over here and find it. But yeah, I thought
I think
some of the things that were talked about it didn't have a lot of legal pull with me one way or another. I think Trump gave a few more details on his plan than Kamala Harris did. Um, I didn't get much out of it though. In the end,
I just sent
quite honestly, did you send it to him?
I said, yeah, I sent him a copy of the video.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. They didn't give any. I don't think they got into deep enough specifics about anything because the moderator kept jumping around from it's hard to get into one of those debates unless you got time to talk. That 2 minutes and then cutting it off. Sometimes things need to be explained. Then they just turned it into a fist fight. But yeah, I mean, so they were fact checking Trump all night long, which was funny. But they didn't. This is a great TikTok. This is the one you sent me or whatever, but here it is. This one's for you. This is.
I love this.
I'll tell you, I agreed with President Biden's decision to pull out of Afghanistan. 4 presidents said they would, and Joe Biden did. And as a result, America's taxpayers are not paying the $300 million a day we were paying for that endless war. And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world. The first time this century. What? But let's understand.
So where the fuck are we right now?
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're not in the war zone anywhere.
I've seen some great ones on there. I've seen some great ones. There's another one, I think, that comedian that had Jeff Dunham, and he had his hand like behind, I think it was behind Kamala Harris or one of them, or I'm sorry, behind Joe Biden. Like he was his puppet. It was great.
Making a meme out of you.
I heard she asked him to another debate right afterwards. Have we ever heard anything that they're going to do another one?
I haven't heard what's going on. We did hear just a little while ago. Somebody sent me that said that sent me the article said that shots were fired at Trump at Mar-a-Lago at the golf club today. Do you see anything about that?
No way, really?
You can find anything about that? Just to see if that's actually true, or
is that something to do with him, or is it just some outside
it just
event?
Something I don't know. That's all it said. So maybe Ryan can see if there's any news out there about it or whatever. But as
here we
Secret
go.
Service fires its suspect at Trump golf course after apparent attempted assassination. So there was something. Oh wow. Okay, so was man with an AK-47.
Oh my gosh. This is getting crazy, man. People are losing their freaking mind.
I think I would have to take about 301 bet he's not a MAGA supporter.
I guess not, man. I'm not a supporter of life very much at all.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I mean, carrying around an AK-47 with a mission now.
When you get to the point of you killing somebody.
Got some videos for the Mar-a-Lago incident, I believe.
Oh, this is live?
Yeah.
Or was live?
Breaking news.
Let's see what's
Story short is President Trump, they were on the 5th hole. They were about to go up to putt. And the way Steve Witkoff, now, just as a little bit of background, Arthel, I happened to go to breakfast with Steve Witkoff and another friend of mine this morning. And I was invited to play golf. They happen to be really good golfers. I don't have a lot of time to play golf, so I said thank you, but I'm not going to go out on the golf course and get killed out there. But long story short, they were playing. They were on the 5th hole, and the way Steve described this, the way the president described it, they both had exactly the same story, which was that they heard pop, 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 pop. And Steve went into great specificity and great detail as to what happened right after. Within seconds, the Secret Service pounced on the president, covered him. You had snipers with tripods. They knew the direction where the shots had been fired, and they had eyes on the location where the shots had been fired. And long story short, they were. I have confirmed with both the president and with Mr. Witkoff that the gun has been found. They identified it as an AK-47, and thanks to Secret Service drone video coverage, they were able to identify one individual involved in this shooting getting into a car after dropping the AK-47. And my understanding, according to both of them, is that that car has been identified, and I believe it's been surrounded Whether or not that person has been apprehended or not, I don't know. This happened in a matter of seconds. A little more color, a little bit more details on this is that when they got on top of the president, immediately what is called a fast cart that I believe has steel reinforcement and protection was able to whisk the president away. And then the Secret Service immediately sprung into action. They had eyes on where the shooting had occurred. I saw the New York Post report that these were two people shooting at each other outside the course. I do know, and they did confirm that the shots were outside of the course, but certainly seemingly within range of the former president. So we don't have any details on any of that. They don't know that part. I only know the part of what they experienced while they were playing golf at Trump International in West Palm. Thankfully, the president is safe. Steve Witkoff is safe. The Secret Service apparently acted with incredible speed and professionalism, and but certainly alarming in every way imaginable in light of what happened in Butler, as you mentioned.
All right,
yeah, of course, this is very alarming. And,
are we really
Sean,
getting to the point? I mean, we don't know if this. I don't know. I sound. Really
I don't know. Right now, you don't really know much.
It's really loud.
Sounds like everybody's kind of supposition and guessing right this second because, I mean, it sounded like something like somebody say something about firing range.
Well, no, I did. What did they say? There was two people outside the thing shooting at each other, and they almost shot. I don't think,
no, I'll have to rewatch that because I didn't. I thought to me it sounded like it was fired from a far away direction. So
well, that's what they said. Two people outside were shooting at each other.
Oh, so they weren't firing at Trump. They were firing at each other.
They don't. Well,
they don't know yet. So all right, a lot of I don't know still. Okay.
Again, we go back to that. How much do you believe? I mean, they've told us so much stuff that it's not true. I mean. Oh, what do you got? What is this?
What's got rolling here?
No.
The whistleblower affidavit has been released showing ABC concluded with Kamala Harris proving illegal collusion. What?
Oh, that doesn't surprise me a bit.
Oh,
what does that say? Did you read it at all? What is it?
What do we got there? Whistleblower. I like whistleblowers.
To provide.
Give me some info.
Collusion. You gotta read. So, some kind of. Is there more to? Oh, there's more picture. Oh, yeah. So it's a couple or whatever. Oh, all right. So I guess we're gonna have to read into this.
No, I can't.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just save that, whatever it is. I mean, we're gonna have to take a look at that and see. I mean,
well, anyhow, I mean, so we'll find out probably the next couple of days what's going on with that situation. And
I saw one where they were talking about that she had been. Somebody, one of the a whistleblower said that she was given the questions before. So I don't, who knows?
Oh, I've seen all kinds of things. I saw one. I think I saw one with they were talking about her earrings were earbuds.
Ryan, I think he said there's somebody said something in about that. Didn't
that wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me.
To the thing wanting us to look into see if it.
She was quite.
Did you find anything on those?
I mean,
is it an actual
as much
thing?
As they didn't say anything, she was eloquent with what she said. So I mean, I'll give her that. I mean, for not saying much, you said it eloquently. So
yeah,
I guess.
Did you hear about those the earring, the Nova earring things?
No, I just saw something on. I think
Ryan had
a TikTok or Facebook. I think I was on, and it showed. They were showing a picture of her, and they were showing a picture of these earrings. Yeah, and they were showing a picture of her.
Did you see what they? Did you go look at what they are?
Well, yeah, they're like earbuds basically.
Well, it's like communication.
Yeah, it's for them to talk in your ear.
Basically, yeah, somebody could talk to you.
Yeah, because it's kind of like I would think it would work like the vibrations in your ear.
No, here it is.
There you go.
You have stuff
that's pretty close. I don't know if that's it.
I mean, and I'm sure it comes in more than just that one style too. But. How many? Every one of them that's on TV is wearing an earpiece.
Yeah, I don't really find.
I don't find. I mean, I don't find this disapproval, or I mean, I don't find this as I can't believe this would happen. But yeah, it probably could have. Do I believe it happened?
Yeah, I mean,
who knows? But I mean, it's a possibility with everything else that goes on. Who knows?
Yep, it got a similar
You know,
look, but
you have to watch what you see on some of this stuff.
yeah, I mean, some of it can
because there's
can
one
make it
time
appear.
where Trump's
They can
talking.
doctor
one
these
time
pictures.
in the
I can do some great shit in Photoshop, man.
Well, no, not even that. It was just one. There was one I saw where somebody had some. I think it was on Facebook or something. They showed a Kamal clip,
Yeah.
and they showed her talking this, and she was rambling on about wars and all this stuff or whatever. Or no, Trump was talking, and he was talking something about, you should have got us out of this war. And then he said the word perfect, in while he was saying something. The border was perfect, and he went on in his thing. And the video kind of backed up, and the girl was like, why is she whispering perfect who she's talking to? And if you really watch the video, she's just kind of going like repeating the word the most expressive word that he used in that to get her
something she wanted to probably jump on or something
right.
like that.
She was like perfect, like she knew he used that word
to
go to her or something like that. You just you have to take in everything, and it can be true, but show me.
Yeah, that's my big deal, man. Show me. You can talk all day long, man. That's the one good thing I have to say about what Trump did before was the fact that he told you what he was going to do, and he did his best to get it done, and other than Congress stopping him from doing certain things, I mean he tried to follow through with what he said he wanted to do. And I admire that, regardless of some of the crap I didn't like.
How many of the presidents?
Quite
how
honest,
many other presidents do you know?
I can't stand the dude as a person, but
well, how many other presidents do you know that you remember that did anything they said they were going to do?
It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Trump was one of the closest ones that's done more than he.
I'd have to go all the way back.
Reagan.
Yeah, maybe Reagan. And I mean, but he was
no, seriously.
He was a part
if you go back to their
himself.
agendas while they were running for president.
Yeah.
And then go back and just do a look at everything they said on their agenda that they wanted to accomplish. Maybe that's a good segment for us to do. I mean, because then you could really find out statistically.
I mean, somebody's track record on how they vote, what they say when they're running for offices on these smaller platforms, before they get to, being a vice president or being a senator, you can kind of learn what these people stand about. And if you watch it, you'll notice, some of them stand the whole way. They stand the same ground. Some of them, you'll watch them flip-flop. Now, I don't mind if you flip-flop, but now if you flip-flop on everything you're talking about, that's a different story.
Right.
Because there's times that I think I'm right about something that, oh, crap, I'm not,
Well, How many
you may change your mind.
How many votes in the House and the Senate and all that stuff do people really actually know what's happening? What we're voting for? No, because you're at work all day long.
Yeah.
And they've passed 5 different pieces of legislation during the week that you had no idea talked about.
Yeah.
But they never list in the paper, this is what was voted on, and then these are the people that voted for, and these are the people that voted against.
Yeah.
For everybody to read. Why don't they post that on every newspaper after every vote? That's what should happen. Because then some of these people would start being held responsible. Because people would come back to their hometowns, and they should be getting an earful from people of, why are you voting for this stuff that we don't want?
Well, and what's really maddening is the fact that it's hard to keep up with all the legislation because they pack so much stuff into a bill that you have to read 1,000 pages on something that should be about, they were trying to make it,
we shouldn't have to,
whatever it may have been, something about electronic security, and in the middle of it, in a tidy paragraph in the bottom, you can't. Agriculture can't do this, and it has to do with agriculture. It has nothing to do with about what the whole damn bill's about.
It's not even just that. It's like even like during the time during all the Ukraine war, like almost every bill they tried to pass had extra money going to them.
Yeah.
There's always something extra that they want in the bill.
Adding pork,
and it's the same thing that both sides have always done is they add something extra to the bill to make the other side shoot it down so that they can make them look bad in the eyes of the public.
Well, that's what.
Then they make some news piece about it.
The guy
they didn't want to help, the
Mike Johnson,
the veterans or something.
The speaker, Mike Johnson, was trying to get that passed. That it was just he tried to get a one bill only passed, and it didn't work. They
They want to
voted it
stockpile it
down.
with all this other
Yeah,
stuff.
because then it would be you would have to vote. They couldn't make one law or whatever, executive order or whatever, or privilege or whatever they're going to make, and then add Ukraine money and SPCA money and all this other stuff to it. It's just that one bill. You want money for that, for Ukraine, it has to be one bill, and that's how they all should be. Yeah. And then they say, "Oh, well, we're too busy for all that." Too busy.
At least make it all have to do with the same thing. I mean, don't slide something, electronics bill, and you slide an agriculture.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The way Mike Johnson and the way it should be is it should all be individual bills.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to slide anything onto the back of another bill. It needs to be another bill.
Yes. No,
period. That but they say, "Oh, that would take us too long." Take you too long. They work less than most people. They're on vacation more than we are. And they get paid 3 times as much as we do.
Yep, they still get a full summer, I think. Right?
The problem again with going back to any of this government stuff is it none of the people that served when they wrote the Constitution wanted to be there. They had to get home to their farms, then raise their kids and run the farm or run,
No, it's
the printing press, or they went home. They didn't want to be in Washington D.C. None of them did.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be. The problem is the serving 4 years or serving 2 terms turned into careers. These people have made careers out of it.
Well,
they
even
serve for 2 or 3
yeah, I mean,
years, but they have no
I don't like that at all. But I mean,
serve as many as they want.
Yeah, but I mean, you got Nancy Pelosi and Schumer and all these people now that they've been in there 30 years, and they're still saying they're going to fix it. You've been there for 30 years. You're the one that caused the mess.
Yeah, all the career politicians.
I mean, the reason we're in this state. Anybody that doesn't think that any of these fools that are telling you we're going to fix it on day one are the same people that have been feeding you the same line for 30 years.
No, absolutely.
The same people.
And we keep electing them.
And people keep going up there and voting for these idiots.
I mean, me myself, I think I have a feeling any good person is scared to run. They see all this crap being slung all over.
Well, if you're going to get shot at like Trump is every time you go out somewhere, nobody wants to go do it.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's how they threaten them. That's how they keep people from doing certain stuff.
Him being the outsider,
they can't beat him in the courts.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen anything like this in the history
take him out
since I've been alive.
Or they're trying to, whatever you want to, however you want to look at it. I mean, they've tried everything they possibly could to throw something that sticks against the wall. They've tried.
Well, I mean, everybody's got dirt. You can't expect somebody to be completely clean.
They've used every bought, not governor, but prosecutor in the all around here. Bring all these stupid
distractions, charges,
all these trials and stuff, and they've lost every one of them. I want to know how much money have they wasted from all these trials and money they paid to their friends to do all this stuff. Yeah. How much money have we wasted?
Tons. Oh, don't get me started on wasting money.
What's funny about it is
that's 2 episodes.
If what they need to tell all the Democrats and the Republicans, you want to do an investigation, that's fine. However, if you're proven wrong, then you pay for it.
Yeah.
The whole entire investigation, the Democratic Party, go back to your DNC and you pay the $26 million.
Well,
not the people, because you brought on another erroneous trial and lawsuit and everything else that goes nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, well, until really really everybody that's in that office now is gone, and we got fresh people in there. It's going to be the same thing.
Oh, that's the only way to let it happen.
And until you get fresh people in there that aren't career politicians, that don't have a dog in the fight other than the community, we're gonna run into this, and we're gonna keep electing these same people because I guess, like I said, I don't think any good person wants to run for office anymore.
Well, how do you have a choice?
They're scared as
hell.
How
do you even have a chance?
What's that?
Just think about it. Do you even have a chance?
No, I mean
wait, think about this. They nominated, the Democratic National Party went to a vote and voted, the people.
Yeah.
And they voted for Joe Biden. Then it goes from there to the electoral. It goes to a higher electoral group. I forget what is that called, Ryan? It's the super electors. It's the super electors, I think it's called.
Okay.
That is basically all the donors.
Okay.
And then they changed the primary, not the primary, but they said, okay, well, now we're filing Kamala. So you have a president right now, Democratic Party, running for president that was not nominated or elected by anybody in the United States, by none of the people.
Yeah.
This would be if she won, she would be the first person to ever not be nominated.
Yeah, I was kind of unsure how all that went.
That can't be constitutional.
The way it
you
went,
just can't give somebody else your votes. They just can't take Biden's votes.
No,
and
I
go
need to,
here.
I need to do my
they're
constitutional research.
I think Trump talked about that though.
And
he said that they did that so that they could use the campaign money that was given to Biden, so she could
correct.
Use it.
But I don't think you can just give your primary votes. I mean, what happens if somebody they just brought somebody else in and go, oh, okay, well, here's Biden's votes.
Well, I mean, it's a Democratic candidate, so I mean, I guess they can do whatever they want to do up until that's their votes.
But that's not democratic for a group of people, the super electors, to just decide that for every Democratic voter, because there might be a ton of Democratic voters out here that don't want Kamala Harris.
Yeah,
maybe they wanted them to go in another direction. I mean, you have right-leaning Democrats and farther-leaning left Democrats too. I have friends that are Democrats, but that lean more towards the right on a lot of things. So again, it goes back to all that. With Kennedy dropping out, and now we have we've had a couple of court cases about that they have to remove his name, and then we've had a couple of states that say they don't have to remove his name. Again, remember, this isn't a federal election. This is all done at the state level. So
state level handles some of it. Yeah, has some
part of it is
part of control.
He already talked about that. Was that they were going to remove their name in all the battleground states. He said that himself.
Well, the Democratic Party wants
he doesn't want votes to ruin the actual vote there that could go one side or another.
But
he's going to keep them in states where they're not.
Well, yeah, but almost all the states that he's kept on the ballot are big Democratic states.
Well, he's done it in both.
No, I mean he's on the ballot on all of them, but I'm saying the ones that I'm sorry, this stupid. The ones that I was reading about that they were keeping him on the ballot, it was kind of like Ryan was saying that you're probably gonna. That's a way of keeping people from voting for him if he's not really got a chance.
Yeah.
And not splitting votes, because is he going to take Kamala Harris's votes, or is he going to take Trump's votes? I mean that's why they did that, so that he wouldn't. He's doing the right thing. He doesn't want to split the votes and all that. Make a choice. You need to be on this side or that side, I guess, is what he's saying. It's kind of becoming that way across the board on this thing. Is do you want to?
Yeah, you're either going to be going Democrat or Republican on this. I don't even know if there's. I haven't even heard about any other independents yet.
I don't associate with either of them. I mean,
no, I don't.
It's
but
not.
like I said,
all of them, 85% of all of them are all, as far as I'm concerned, crooks. So
yeah,
they need to clean the whole system out. I mean, like I said, if I got elected tomorrow and somebody asked me what my party was, I would probably just say independent, because independent to me is I'm just independent of everybody's party, because I don't want to be constricted by a party. I want to do what's right for the people that voted to put me in here. You've gone way over past the moral line.
No, that's kind of the purpose of our show, man. Is we'd be able to talk, about stuff like this.
Yeah, that's another question somebody asked me. They said, "Well, how are you going to get both sides of your view out?" And I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Do you not think Rich is
Believe me, Rich is not the easy pushover.
No, I got my beliefs in some things, and
Rich is very strong-minded, strong-willed. But again, we were talking about.
But I'll listen to what you have to say. I mean, I got that's why we get along so well.
Well, we talked about when we had Emily here, and stuff. I guess we shouldn't have been talking about, but the one thing she said, that why she didn't take the job and why she quit, or why she quit her job. You are, though, and you said that right there in the video.
Yeah,
that's what I want people to understand, is this isn't just two people sitting here talking. This is a friendship that's built over a long time, that's been we've learned from each other by not believing in the exact same thing each other believes in.
Yeah. I mean, we have to
on a lot of stuff. We're right now. We believe
right down the middle. But
there's some other stuff that him and I we can be seen as on the opposite side of the fence, and that's why I like you.
Yeah.
But we don't argue and fight about it. We discuss it, and we go on to something else to discuss if it gets to a point. I mean, we've gotten to that point now where people can't even have a discussion like we were talking about before.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I mean, it's even on a lot of these podcasts you see, and that's why I was hesitant about doing this, is because I didn't want it to come off, skewed or angry or anything like that.
Right.
I want to come off more. I want us to intrigue people, make it,
Right.
Well, what? I didn't know that. Wait a minute.
Right. That's exactly
so. Because I do that a lot of times, because I don't know everything. Heck, I don't know half of everything. I don't know a third of everything. Probably don't know a tenth of everything. So.
But that's why I think you and I get along so well, is because you always make me question things, and I make you question things that we usually probably wouldn't make each other question.
Yeah.
Which makes us, and then with this, we just say the truth and talk the truth about everything.
Yeah.
So we're not trying to offend anybody. We're not trying to dissuade you from anything. We're not trying to do anything. We're just giving you points of view that we're seeing out there, and the actual places you can go find the knowledge and look for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not making an opinion on.
Yeah,
anything.
don't follow me, please.
If you're disgruntled, please, when you send the and Ryan would probably put the email. He does. I know we have it at the end or whatever, but we do want comments.
Yes, and please stuff. Make comments.
If you want to come on, we can Zoom you in. If you want to come on and talk about something you want to talk about, please do not hesitate to send us an
especially if you're passionate about it. Love it. Bring it on.
There's different things that we could do.
We'll have music in there as well at some point here. We're gonna make sure to do that. I have got some guys booked y'all gonna dig. They're local, so I think you'll like them. Some are gonna be kind of acoustic, some are kind of heavy. So we do have some things upcoming that'll be kind of cool.
I think the continuation of more of just delving into history for some reason.
Yeah, it fascinates you, man. It's because if you don't understand it, you're gonna repeat it, and we keep repeating it. I think we're kind of in that cycle still. So
we definitely have not lost our going
edge for chaos.
Edge for chaos.
Yeah,
that too.
So
I think we just keep going. A lot of this, I don't know. We can get into the whole,
You're gonna have to get into the stormtrooper thing here one time, man. You're gonna have to tell people something about some of this crazy stuff. I've never seen so much Star Wars in my life, bro.
I'm sure that at some point in time we'll
love it, but oh my God.
Maybe at some point in time we could do a Star Wars action figure show or something like that, or go over the. Ryan would probably enjoy filming that one and stuff.
Star Wars podcast. We'll mash it up with some kind of crazy topic.
We'll talk about that at some point in time.
The new AI. The new AI. How much AI do you like in your life?
Cool AI wall too.
So
Ryan did a
we
really
hope
good job.
y'all come back. Y'all enjoyed the show. We're gonna let you go for today. If you have any questions or comments, please throw us something there in the email. Go to it's gonna be unsweetenedrichandmarty.com. Well, we're gonna bring a lot to you, man. So y'all just stay tuned and be prepared.